It is finally here. And before I begin, first of all, I need to tell you, we're on a farm stay, which explains why if you look really closely at my chin, look at this. Can you see how it's like? I hit my chin on a wheelbarrow and it's swollen now. Yes, my whole jaw and skull hurts. And second of all, I need to tell you that because I don't fuck with these products. This is not my bathroom. Here is the mold tip. What I love about this tip is that this is going to be really useful and helpful if you are renovating or wanting to like redo your bathroom and you own, or if you're looking at rentals and you're trying to find places that don't have much mold or just as minimal as possible. If you're renting, let me tell you that if you don't have a vent that's working or windows, then you need to make sure that you have one of these. See how it's like just one solid panel? There's no grout down the bottom. Sure, there's grout like through the top here, through like, you know, in between all the tiles where mold can grow. But look how much more less likely it is if it's just one solid panel. Now, if you're building, what I've heard is that having one solid fiberglass panel at the bottom is the best way to go about it. I'm not a builder. I just had to become really good at understanding how to manage my SIRS. And so that's why I know a whole bunch of random stuff about it. So if you're going to build or redo your bathroom, consider one solid panel here and also one solid one on the wall, one solid one here at the back. And, you know, obviously if it depends on what you've got, if you've got another solid panel or solid panel here or whatever that might look like, just to minimize the amount of grout that you have between tiles. It doesn't look as aesthetic, no, but it means that you're going to have less mold growing in between grouts, which is where it grows most of the time. Now, because I can't help myself, I'm going to give you a whole bunch more tips, but the other tip that is kind of related to this is that if you're renting and you see something like this, or even better, it's like solid on the walls as well. Amazing. But you know those bathtub showers? Those are also really great as well. Now, again, not as aesthetic as a nice looking shower like this, but if you're a functional health girly, then aesthetics is always going to take a backseat. And that's literally everything I think I've ever done in health. It's always like health first, what we look like or what it looks like second, right? So the other thing that I'm going to give you a tip on is cleaning. I need to just lay this groundwork, just in case you don't know. 99% of you will know this already, but just in case you don't, bleach does not kill mold. It just makes it white. It's like painting mold white. It doesn't clear it, doesn't fix it. It just paints it white. So if you're going to clean it, I have a few options. Cheap, simple options, which aren't root cause, but at least they're cleaning like a Band-Aid does, is vinegar and clove oil or vinegar and tea tree oil. You can just Google or ask ChatGPT what mixture to make. I don't really use that anymore. I actually use concrobium. You can buy it at Bunnings if you're in Australia, and it's pretty great. It kills it. You do need to be careful because when you kill mold, I should talk about this in another story, but I'll talk about that in another story. For cleaning, Okay, now we're talking about preventative measures. And guys, I felt the need to over deliver on this because yesterday when I was like, I've got a tip, it was literally, we were just going to talk about the panels in the bathroom. And then 423 of you were like, close friends, add me to the close friends list. I want these mold tips. So I was like, well, fuck, I better over deliver here. So if we're talking about prevention, a great thing, which they absolutely did not have here, so I can't show you, is a squeegee. So when you're finished in the shower, the best thing to do is to actually get a squeegee, so like a handheld squeegee, and just squeegee down the walls. Now, yeah, is it a little high maintenance? Yeah. Does it take you a minute or two? It does. But like while you're basically in your towel, wrapped up in your towel, you can just literally spend all of 30 or 45 seconds or however long it takes, just like making sure there's no water droplets that are running down all the grout. And then other obvious things are make sure you crack your window as you shower. It's actually like really cold here and I had the windows open after showers this morning. Anyways, it's totally dry now in the shower, which is why I closed the windows because like I said, it's quite cold. I'm on a farm, so it's quite cold here near the snow mountains. And the other thing was, again, this only applies if you're like building or if you're looking at a rental, but having like floor to ceiling tiles is actually better than having like walls and paint. So this entire bathroom, you'll see the entire bathroom has tiles. So this is actually better because obviously like water can run down. Now again, if you want to be real OTT and it's really humid when you have a shower, you can go down and just wipe down all of the water droplets. But listen, if you live in a humid place like Southeast Queensland, Byron Bay, parts of Sydney and other parts of Australia, or anywhere else that's humid and it's over 50% humidity, then you need to get serious about this. Or even if any room you have in the house is over 50% humidity, because over 50% is where mold grows. And that would depend on your geographic location and also the actual, like, you know, your place. Some people also say to shower with the doors open, but it depends on where that's going. This is the reason I don't like en-suites. Like, I will never have an ensuite again. Because I had mold poisoning when I was pregnant with Billy at 11 weeks. Anyway, I had to go to the hospital. It was terrible. So this at least goes to a hallway and there's lots and lots of windows. It doesn't go straight into someone's room, into their mattress, into their textiles, if they're like really into coastal vibes. Now, let me address questions I know I'm going to get. And the first one is, Dee, my bathroom sucks. It's doomed to get mold because I have a big red cross against the whole checklist that you just shared on what not to do. Can you take it from me? I have been traveling for over 6 months in a combination of house sits, Airbnbs, hotels. I know sometimes you can't control it. And sometimes you're like, well, I'm just stuck here for a period of time. There's not much I can do about it until I move. So you know what you have to do? Here's what you have to do. Because if you're in mold exposure or you're likely to be in mold exposure, you have to build your health insurance. So you need to invest in products. And this is what I did. Invest in products that look after your health as a kind of buffer for the negative health effects. Let me show you product number 1 that you are going to want to have. I take this with me everywhere. Yes, I am taking it overseas to America. Am I crazy? Maybe. But this is how much I love my Kangen water machine. And I drink Kangen water, my family. It's literally all we ever drink. We would rather not drink anything. We'd rather be thirsty. I'm walking over to the next machine. So this is my M Guard. You plug it in, you literally just need like a USB port and you plug it in. Sorry, there's lots of things plugged in here. This bad boy is my EMF radiation blocker. And for 8 meters, it protects me and my family. Goes through walls, goes through clothes, up, down, side to side. That's a good amount of surface area covered. And the reason that that's so important and the reason why we're bringing it with us is because I know there's lots of high-rise buildings everywhere that we're going in America. High-rise means high EMF exposure, and high EMF exposure has been shown to increase mycotoxin activity from mold, the baddies from mold in the air, by 600%. And yes, high-rise buildings, all that everyone has Wi-Fi, that is considered high EMF exposure. So that's the point is, if you've seen mold, you need to get serious. Listen to me now. You need to get serious about mold, okay? Mold is not a fucking joke. Doctors and fertility clinics and real estate agents for that matter, they think that mold's a joke. It's not a joke. Do you know why I know? Because when I clear mold out of people's bodies, they suddenly fall pregnant after they've been struggling for years and years, okay? That's how I know. I know it for myself. It changed my whole cycle and hormones and all the things as well. So it is really important. Now, if you've seen it, you need to remediate it or you need to get the fuck out. The end, there is no other option. If you haven't seen it and you're not sure, I would probably recommend you get some tests, but I would also still recommend that you invest in those products to reduce your inflammation and protect yourself. They are your health insurance. Would you pay $1 a day to have that level of health insurance to reduce all your inflammation and your oxidative stress that you're going to get from all of these exposures and life in general? I know I would. Sorry, got a little bit fired up there, but you can see that I'm very passionate about you taking control of your own health because nobody is going to look after you like you can. And when you have these skills, you can then pass it on to the next generations. And speaking of which, if you are here on the close friends list, you have heard about mold, you're like, oh my gosh, that could be a fertility blocker for me, because I'm telling you, if you've been doing all the things, eating well, exercising, manage your stress, and you're still not pregnant yet, your fertility blocks are invisible, and mold could be one of those. And if you want my full fertility blocks checklist, the one that doctors aren't even looking for one of these, then you just really need to go either DM me, you either need to go to my link in bio and go click on my Better Than IVF training, or you need to DM me the word better, because that becomes a paid training on May the 31st. So you might as well get your hands on it now, okay? It's a 3-part training. It's so worth it. Everyone that's watched it is like, wow.